2024 BMW XM Label First Drive. The most powerful M car doesn't need you to like the way it looks. If the XM label's mother loves its face, everyone else will love the power. Will anyone look back at the BMW XM in a few decades and think, why can't BMW design a car like that anymore? Feedback from many of our readers suggests that won't be the case. But however you feel about the XM, the 2024 BMW XM label, the new, most powerful, and most expensive Beamer on the road, won us over by adding more power to the hybrid V8. As an aside, this model used to be called the Label Red, but BMW dropped the red because, it probably had a reason. BMW could stick this engine into a loaf of bread on wheels, and provided it still held together despite being moldy and crusty, we'd still drive it. If this beefed up version in the label really is what ends up in the M5, well, here's your first introduction to it. The heart of the XM label is a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 engine that churns out 577 horsepower and 553 pounds-to-foot of torque. That's a massive 94 horsepower and 74 pounds-to-foot more raw combustion power than the standard XM. The permanently excited synchronous electric motor is unchanged at 194 horsepower and 206 pounds-to-foot of torque. A 19.2 kilowatt-hour battery stores enough electrons to take the XM label 31 miles before gas power is required, and the battery will recharge as you drive. Integrated braking keeps any mechanical to regenerative braking transitions hidden from the driver. With an effective torque input of 332 pounds-to-foot from gearing the motor before the 8-speed transmission, the XM label gets around on electricity as if it were a pure EV with a top speed of 87 miles per hour. With gas and electricity, the XM label is expected to hit 60 miles per hour from a stop in 3.7 seconds. When we tested the XM, it was half a second quicker than BMW's claims, and a low 3-second time feels possible after experiencing the extra power in the label. The combined 738 horsepower and twisting force is likely more than you can truly appreciate on the road. But you can sense the power no matter how it's driven, and it doesn't goad you into drag racing every stoplight the way American muscle does. Seriously, try to drive a Hellcat anything or Raptor or without flooring it. The XM label is more refined than that, with the confidence and restraint of a skilled boxer, holding its punches for the perfect moment. It's no slouch, but the extra power in the label adds a don't-poke-the-bear element to its personality. Imagine the buffeting of a World War I fighter plane's propeller pulsing through the air, and you'll understand the menacing growl of the XM label's V8 mixed with the uncharacteristically low electric hum. Heaps of power and torque to spare mean revs rarely need to broach 2,000 revolutions per minute for one to drive enthusiastically through tight mountain roads. With standard adaptive M suspension professional, active anti-roll control, M Sport differential torque vectoring, and rear steering, it handles its size and 3-ton weight with precision and control. That warplane-like drone is the reminder that the XM label has nothing to prove to anyone else on the road. Your passengers are seated comfortably in the M Lounge on quilted merino leather, basking in the glow of the LED-lit recessed headliner, with custom XM pillows, yes, 700+ HP in pillows, stowed in the door panel. Meanwhile, you're up front at the helm. The asymmetric dashboard gives the BMW curved screen a bias toward the driver, and the raised edge of the center console next to the passenger is a reminder these are not their controls. The pavement around BMW's suggested driving routes through Greenville, North Carolina, generated aggressive road noise in nearly every vehicle, but the XM label was matched only by the 7 Series in keeping the cabin quiet. The ride wasn't as plush as the flagship sedan, but we didn't expect it to be. The comfort settings in other SUVs like the M60 versions of the X5 and X6 we drove were often too soft, but the XM label kept undulating on winding roads and jostling around passengers and cargo. It still isn't as stiff as anything with competition in its name, though, and should be suitable for long drives. The only real complaint we have is the massaging seats don't impress. Massaging pressure seems to be light in a lot of BMWs, but the XM was disappointing when you consider the price tag. The seats are comfortable, but the leather and cushions of the sporty seats are so thick you can hardly feel the rollers. This isn't a deal breaker for us, but it's a reminder that the XM label puts performance slightly ahead of comfort. Millennials, approaching their prime buying years, are supposedly all about experiences over things, right? Well, this car is certainly an experience worth having, but it is far from affordable for most. The starting price of $185,995 is $20,000 more than the standard XM, but, fortunately, you won't have to add any options to get the performance. All the models BMW let us drive were below $200,000 and come standard with its top options like the hands-free highway assistant, with only upgraded stereo and appearance packages. No one can afford houses right now anyway, so heck, why not buy an XM label instead? For only the second time in its history, BMW M creates a vehicle of its very own, the XM. This high-performance luxury SUV isn't based on a standard BMW model, instead produced as an expressive interpretation of M's potential. Every XM is a plug-in hybrid, and built in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Competitors to the 2024 BMW XM include the Lamborghini Urus, Mercedes-AMG G63, and Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. Introduced as an all-new model in 2023, the XM gains BMW's highway assistant hands-free driving technology as standard for 2024. Additionally, the powerful XM label variant joins the range this year. For what reason does the XM exist if not to be controversial? You don't buy it because you want the quickest and sportiest SUV out there, because the XM isn't it. With features and a layout much like that of a workaday X5, the XM's interior isn't as special as some rivals. Its plug-in hybrid powertrain is still less efficient than that of an all-electric vehicle. If you're looking for some particular superlative, the XM might not have it. But the XM stirs things up like few other vehicles. That's largely owed to its looks, which will repulse some viewers and intrigue others. It's an enormous, high-powered statement maker. Factor in ire from BMW purists over this luxurious SUV being the first M-only vehicle since the iconic track-derived M1, and the XM's infamy increases. Its ability to attract attention is nearly unparalleled, and those inside might revel in knowing not all will view it favorably. Regardless, the XM is quick, nice inside, and has a useful amount of all-electric driving range. Still, generating opinions seems to be the XM's primary function. The XM combines a twin-turbocharged 4.4-liter V8 with an electric motor to produce a total output of 644 horsepower and 590 pounds-to-foot of torque. With an 8-speed automatic transmission and AWD, the 6,000-plus pound XM launches from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds. Even though it's the most powerful BMW SUV, it's not the quickest. The X6M competition does the sprint in 3.3 seconds and the 9M60 in 3.2 seconds. Rivals like the Lamborghini Urus Performante and Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT are quicker still. As a plug-in hybrid, the XM is a solid option for those who aren't quite ready for a fully electric vehicle. This SUV can use its electric motor to drive, without needing to turn on its V8 engine at all. Electric range comes in at 31 miles, which is only slightly less than a Toyota Prius Prime. With the gas engine in the mix, total range comes to around 300 miles. If the standard XM isn't powerful or exclusive enough, BMW offers the XM label. Yes, just label, not label red as had previously been reported. This strangely named variant packs more power, and even 738 horsepower and 738 pounds-to-foot of torque, which should make it slightly quicker than the regular XM. A number of chassis enhancements promise improved handling, as well. Although desirable driver assist features cost extra on some BMW models, the XM includes them as standard. Among these are front automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control. For 2024, BMW's highway assistant hands-free driving system becomes standard equipment. A dual-display digital suite sits atop the dashboard, providing the driver with a gauge cluster display and infotainment touchscreen. A head-up display is also included. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and built-in navigation are standard. In addition to several USB-C ports, a wireless charging pad is included. The XM comes with a 16-speaker Harman Kardon audio system as standard and makes a Bowers & Wilkins Diamond Premium arrangement optional. The XM is the most expensive BMW model currently in production, with a starting price of just below $160,000, or roughly double the price of a BMW M4. And that's for the standard XM. The XM label is closer to $185,000.